Stephanie, and let's talk books. So today I have something a little bit different for you guys. We are going to be talking about a book-related board game. We are going to be chatting about this giant Reckoners board game based off the Reckoners series by Brandon Sanderson. So the reason I wanted to talk about this game with you guys is because there is currently a Kickstarter going on for an expansion. So this is a great time to get in on the game. They have several different pledge options, all the way down from just the basic expansion, and then they have different upgrades you can get, as well as other options where you can get the base game and the expansion if you would like to have both. So this game is based off of the Reckoner series. This is a young adult superhero series by Brandon Sanderson. The sort of idea behind this book is that people start to manifest superpowers, but instead of being superheroes, they all turn evil and basically take over the world. And this story follows a group of regular old humans who are trying to overthrow these supervillains who have taken over and are terrorizing and oppressing everyone. So the base game is based off of the first book, Steelheart, and they wanted to sort of design it in a way where there were definite elements from the books and you can play as some of the main characters, but it's nothing done that is in any way spoilery. So if you haven't read the book and you want to, you can still play the game and not get spoiled. The second book, Firefight, is the inspiration for the expansion. So I'm gonna go ahead and assume there's gonna be some spoilery stuff in the expansion, at least for the first book, just because it is based off of the second book. And hopefully this also means that eventually we will get a third expansion, or a second expansion for the last book. So this is the base game. It is made by Nauvoo Games and it's called simply Reckoners. The expansion is called Steelslayer, which if you have read the series, you will know why that might be a really appropriate name. This is a cooperative board game. You can play with 1 to 6 players. And you can see it comes in a giant box. So let's go ahead and open this up and I will show you guys some of the stuff that comes with the game. So this is a game that comes with a lot of pieces. It does take quite a bit of space to play, but it is a really fun sort of build your own board type of game. So the game, as well as the first book, take place in a futuristic Chicago called New Chicago, and you can see here some of the different locations around New Chicago that you're going to be playing with, some of which, if you know anything about the actual city of Chicago, might seem a little bit familiar to you. You have all of these different locations that your characters will be traveling between during the game. Each character also has their own tray. You can see you can play as one of several of the Reckoners, which are our human heroes that are trying to fight the epics. And each of these characters also has a really cool minifig that comes with the game. So when you play the game, you're going to be playing against one boss epic, which is Steelheart, as well as several lesser epics, which you will draw throughout the game. And the idea behind the game is you need to research the weakness of the boss epic Steelheart and then defeat him in order to save the city, while also making sure that Steelheart and the rest of the epics don't destroy the city before you can destroy them. Alright, so you guys can see this is a game that takes a lot of space. This table is actually a smidge smaller than ideal for this game setup, but you know, we make it work because it's fun to play. You can play this game with 1 to 6 players, so we're going to play a 2-player game, and we have found it is much more fun if you have 2 players, for each player to pick 2 different characters to play. So you have kind of a 4-player game going on, even though we only have 2 people. So you can see over here, I have picked Tia and Megan to play. And Will is going to be playing with Prof and Abraham. And then we set everything up with the correct difficulty level for 4 players. This game is very scalable. There are lots of different difficulty levels for each of the different numbers of players, which you can set with different of these little insets that go in the trays to make it harder or easier. So overall, I really enjoy this game. This is a game we got for Christmas, and we have played it several times since we've got it, and so it has quite a few features that I personally really like in a board game. It has a really great 2-player option, which is super important for me personally, because more often than not, it's my husband and I playing a board game together. So if a game doesn't have a 2-player option, or if the mechanics technically work for 2-player, but it's really not as much fun as playing with more people, then we tend to not to play those games very often. So this is one that we both really enjoy. It's also a cooperative game, so you all win or lose together, which is something that I really enjoy. I enjoy cooperative or semi-cooperative games a lot. I think this would be a great game that you could play with people who haven't read the books before, because most of us are very familiar with the idea of superheroes and superpowers and kind of how they can be kind of weird and quirky powers. And even if you didn't really know anything about the Reckoners characters beforehand, I think there's enough information in the game where you kind of get a feel for what the intended strengths and weaknesses of each of the characters that you're playing with. Another thing I appreciate about this game is there are quite a few different difficulty levels. So there's 4 different difficulty levels in the game, and then each of those levels they have for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 players. So you can definitely make it easier or more difficult depending on how many players you have and what the skill level of your players are, and also possibly how long you want the game to last. And I definitely have found that we were able to find a good difficulty level for us, where after a couple of games the beginner level was a little bit too easy. We were able to step it up and find a difficulty level that was hard enough to be fun and challenging, but not so hard that we get crushed every single time we play. So that is my review of the Reckoners board game. If you guys are interested in getting this game or the expansion, I will go ahead and leave a link down in the description to the Kickstarter, which you guys can go ahead and check out. And let me know down in the comment section below if you have any fun board game recommendations, especially ones that are great for 2 players, because we are always on the lookout for new and awesome games to get into. Thanks for watching!